Welcome into the Landon Tengwall Show, sponsored by Bobby Rail Honda of State College. If you need anything done to the car, you need a new car, tell them Landon sent you. They will take care of you. This is my weekly rundown of James Franklin's press conference, the shortest press conference of the year for him. Only about 30 minutes. It was actually under 30 minutes, and normally they go almost 45 minutes long. The word of the day was inconsistent for James Franklin. I think he said it over 10 times, and it was clear he felt that everything has been inconsistent, to say the least. Now, one of the most interesting pieces of this press conference, James Franklin did not open up with a scouting report. So even after Oregon, and we come in on Monday after Oregon, and everybody knows only questions are going to be asked about Oregon, he still gave a scouting report on UCLA. He came into today knowing obviously no one gives a crap about Northwestern's scouting report. But obviously, James Franklin is generally a creature of habit, as are most head coaches. Franklin did not open up with a Northwestern scouting report. We get to the final question of the day, and Mike Portman presses him on it and says, "James, you didn't give a scouting report on Northwestern. I'm confused. Why? Why did you not do that?" And James basically said, "Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. That was my mistake. I don't know why I didn't do that. I should have done that." And then James, to finish off the press conference, went into his full scouting report of Northwestern, which, once again, I don't think anybody was actually taking any notes of. But I thought that was kind of interesting. That was funny, and shout out to Mike Portman for man. That Franklin said that. He said, "Thank you, Mike, for making sure and basically holding me accountable there." All right. Franklin was asked about Katron Allen and his touches. We all know this has been a big topic. I have called it coaching malpractice on Twitter. I still firmly believe that. And this kind of takes me to the next level of continuing to say it is coaching malpractice. Singleton on the year has 9 more carries than Katron Allen. I want to be clear and say this again. Nick Singleton, one of the greatest human beings I've ever met, was always checked up on me when I had my injuries, all that type of stuff. But this is a business, and it has to be treated as such. Katron Allen is the clear better running back. So Franklin said, no doubt Katron Allen is having a good year and has been very productive. He said, we're having conversations about how to get him touches, specifically said, and he said that way they meet as a staff every week to talk about it. He said it was a discussion before the game that we need to get Katron Allen more touches and more carries. Katron Allen had 22 snaps. Nick had 37. Katron had 8 carries. Nick had 11 carries. Final drive for Penn State. Katron Allen, nowhere to be found on the sideline. Nick Singleton took every single snap. So you say you get it, you understand, and that you talked about the fact that Katron Allen needs more snaps, but you didn't do it. I would say a sad excuse, but there wasn't even an excuse given. It was just, yeah, we talked about that we need to get him more snaps, and that was it. I mean, really? Are we serious? Coaching malpractice, once again, that is incredibly frustrating for me. I don't have anything else to say. I can't believe there was no answer actually given. It was just, yeah, we talked about it, and that's it. Why didn't you execute? That would have been my follow-up question. It's a good thing I'm not in there. James was asked about the punt at the end, where UCLA took the safety, right? UCLA drained the clock down. Gary Danielson of the crew that was calling the game, everybody knew about it. Everybody was saying, hey, this is what UCLA is going to do. We've seen tons of NFL and college teams do that because they do not want to punt from their own end zone. Penn State catches it. Next thing you know, you return it, and you have the ball on their 30-yard line, and you can go score a touchdown to tie it up. Instead, you take the safety, and yeah, you're not up by 7 anymore. You're only up by 5, but now they have the ball on their own 30-yard line. That's a big swing, and it made sense for UCLA to do that. James Franklin, he said they were expecting them to punt it deep. He did mention there was a discussion on the headset that they may take the safety, and he said we needed to have guys in position to rush the punter, but you didn't. Once again, you didn't. Coaches not doing their job. It is that simple. That is a true issue. I don't know how you're not ready for that. Like I said, I think everybody was ready for that. What was weird to me, Franklin then, earlier on, so that happened after in the press conference, earlier on, Franklin actually complimented special teams. He was asked basically the production of the year and why this team is not living up to the hype of that this should be a national championship team. And he said for defense, he said guys adjusting and they need to be more confident. He just said finding ways to be more consistent as a whole. Then he complimented the special teams for the blocked punt where Deny came free. And yes, great job there, obviously. That was a big-time play. And he said, we need a similar approach on offense and defense as far as, the execution. What? Did we not see the punt safety situation and the onside kick? I'm confused. I'm utterly confused on that. I understand. I believe it was Dejan Lane that on the onside kick where he just, maybe that wasn't on the coaches, but it is on the coaches. That is their job to make sure. And Franklin even said it. He said it in his post-game presser that, hey, we told everybody all week these guys are going to do anything they can to get an edge. An onside kick would be one of those things, and it was almost like he was kind of alluding to that in his post-game presser, and now comes in on Monday and compliments the special teams for being, that is where the offense and defense needs to be like. And yes, I agree. The special teams up to this point before UCLA has been great. I'm not forgetting that, but I just don't understand how you give them those compliments after those really, really bad moments that very well could have cost you that football game against UCLA. Don't get that. Franklin was asked about the offensive line and why it does not look how we thought it was supposed to look. He mentioned missing Donko this past week. TJ Shanahan played better than Donko, and Donko played 3 series at right tackle. I don't know if people didn't notice that. Rucci came out in the third quarter. Donko played 3 series. Now, obviously, I think it was just limited, but we haven't really talked about this. I think we probably have a new starter at right guard. TJ Shanahan played fairly well, honestly. That's not an excuse. I'm sorry. It's not. He said inconsistent. I agree with that. He then went on to say, hey, there's specific reasons I could give you, but not broadly, saying that, and this is true, saying that it was on this play, this guy took the wrong footwork. On this play, this guy just whiffed on a block. On this play, this guy didn't know his assignment. And that is real. That is a real thing. When it comes to run blocking, it's never just one theme. Generally, it is almost always multiple things of, hey, that's the hardest part about offensive line play, that you have to be 5, maybe even 6 guys if you include a tight end, 6 guys moving as one. And if one guy messes up out of the 6, the play's blown up. And I do want to throw out there, the tight ends who have been elite run blockers for a long time at Penn State struggled heavily on Saturday against UCLA. A lot of bad blocks from not only Luke Reynolds, but Khalil Dinkins as well. All right. Basically, the whole entire theme, Franklin took responsibility for everything. I do give him credit for that. He kept saying, it starts with me. It is my responsibility. He says, I hired everybody. I recruited everybody here. It is my job to have it right. So glad to see him taking that accountability. It is clear the message he wanted to send was, it is inconsistent and it is my fault. That was the overall message I got from that. 7:30 p.m. tonight, live call-in show. We can talk about all of it. I want to hear your guys' calls, your angst, anything you got. Probably not any Northwestern questions, but we'll have some fun. So make sure you guys are in 7:30 p.m. We'll be live on Twitter and YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.